Hi, my name is Jason and I am here today to help you with the IELTS speaking test. I will be going through with you two things. The first thing, I will help you with preparation for the IELTS speaking test. The second thing I will help you with to help you introduce yourself clearly to the examiner. So the first thing you want to do is be able to prepare well. So how do you do that? Well, one is you prepare yourself with some ideas before you go into the test. So for example, think about your past, your present, and your future. Think about things that you've done in the past. Think about things that you are doing now. Think about your goals, your career plans in the future. Second thing you should always do is mentally prepare yourself before the test, whether that's doing some meditation or some other kind of self-help work to make sure that you're confident before you go into the test. Third thing to do is make sure you arrive early. If you arrive late, you might get a bit flustered. You might feel a bit nervous or a bit panicked. So now we're going to look at what actually happens in the test and how to introduce yourself. What will happen is when you arrive at the test, you'll be expected to give in your ID card or your passport. So when the examiner asks you to come in, he will ask you to sit down and he will ask you what your name is. How do you call yourself? So for example, my name is Somchai, but you can call me Som. So anything like that. You just need to be brief and be simple. Okay? You don't need to explain what your name is. So you'll be expected to give your ID card and then the examiner will tell you when the test begins. Now what happens afterwards? Well, then the exam will start. This is the introduction where they talk about yourself. This is like the beginning of part one. And the beginning of part one is where you're talking about things that are very familiar to you. So for example, your home, your hometown, your work, or your studies. Okay, and he will ask you some questions about those things. So for example, can you tell me about your hometown? Where do you live? What are you currently studying now? You need to keep your answers simple, between 2 to 3 sentences long, or 2 to 4 sentences long, and just make them simple. You don't need to use complex vocabulary here, or too many complex sentences. So for example, I come from Bournemouth, which is a small beach town in the south of the UK. Tell me about where you come from. Well, I come from Bournemouth. Bournemouth is a really beautiful place on the south coast of England. It's got amazing beaches and it's got an excellent nightlife. I recommend it to anybody who's passing through England. That's all you need to say. You don't need to go too complex. And the examiner will ask you 3 or 4, 5, 6 different questions on these topics, and then he'll move on to another topic for section 1. And that's what we're going to look in the next video clip, is what happens after you've introduced yourself and in the IELTS test. Thank you for watching.